Hello, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to the 18th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Alonzo. I'm joined by my co-host, Nicholas O'Brien. How are you doing, Nicholas O'Brien?
I'm good.
Mm.
I'm alright. It's going okay.
Well, as you can tell, it has been a while. It's been a
Yes.
combination of technical difficulties and me cutting pennies.
Yeah. Almost there. Almost got it.
Cutting a
Look at that. Look at that.
If you're listening, I'm so sorry. You did not get to see me use the Super Shears by Cutco. The high carbon stainless steel makes them good for everything in the kitchen as well as indoor and outdoor activities. They come apart for easy cleaning and they are dishwasher safe.
Thanks, Justin. Glad.
Anyways, on to baseball, the reason why we're here. But goddamn, that's impressive. I'm adding it to my
Yeah.
bag before we move on.
Before we get into the Bronx and Queens, All-Star. Wow, that's a lot of pennies.
A lot of federal crimes committed.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
filing U.S. currency. Go on.
So I believe it was yesterday, Phase 1 of All-Star voting concluded. And the only Mets and Yankees moving on are Aaron Judge and Francisco Lindor. Yeah, I mean, my only thing, first of all, I hate fan
I was
voting.
about
I
to say
feel
fan
like,
voting's bullshit.
yeah. I think Alonso probably should have been in over Olsen. I don't think he was going to, I think Freeman should start regardless, but just as like the second, I think
The
Alonso should have
reserve.
been in. Yeah, but, you know, Mets, at least, this team has been widely inconsistent, so I can't really blame people all too much, but seeing Lindor there is pretty cool. And of course, Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge.
Yeah, no,
so.
Judge, if he didn't make it, if Judge didn't make it, that would have been ridiculous considering fan voting. After the first month of the season, Rizzo and Glaber, 100% locks. They've cooled down.
Yeah.
I'm not really that. They didn't
Upset
deserve
about
it.
it, yeah.
They didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it is what it is.
pitching was done, and because pitching isn't included in fan voting, that's just important to note. Because pitching is one of those things that's so different year in, year out. It's kind of hard to you got to know baseball. So the
Definitely.
casual fan's not gonna know that Well, I'm just gonna use Zach Allen. They're not gonna go.
Right.
No, Zach Allen's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So stuff like that. So if it was a thing and Cole didn't get there or something like that, then I would have been furious. But
right.
It's not pitching.
Yeah.
So don't really have.
Yeah.
No, I don't really care.
Eh.
Yeah. So.
But Phase 2 starts pretty soon, and then our game is
starting?
No, Orlando Arcia.
I think I voted for him. What team is he on again?
The Braves?
I'm pretty sure I voted for him, I think. Just looking off the numbers.
Probably. Yeah. My only thing is he's been hurt for a month.
Don't care.
But whatever. He's been the best shortstop. He deserves it. But without further ado,
I just realized we never discussed where we're going.
Bronx.
We're going to the Bronx?
To the Bronx. As well.
Okay, I guess we're going to I had no idea. Bronx, choo-choo! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bronx. Baseball happened. So,
Lots of it.
Been a while since you heard us, so we're going to go a little bit further back. We figured Yankees, Mets, might as well just start the Subway Series. But first, before we do any of that, as always, your injury report brought to you by the Triboro MD. So first off, Carlos Rodon is scheduled to have his second rehab start on Thursday, or Sunday. Yesterday was Thursday. On Sunday. Yeah, absolutely incredible news. His first start, he was 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. I heard people saying he was absolutely disgusting. People that were at the game, just absolutely filthy. Yeah. And then Ian Hamilton, he had a rehab assignment that started on Sunday. He's expected back soon because I think they said he was only gonna have 1 or 2 rehab starts.
Right.
So he should be back anytime. Then Arson Judge, he got a second cortisone shot in the toe. Did we even talk about the toe?
I don't. I think we talked about when he got injured. Not injured, but like when he ran into the fence.
Okay.
But I don't think we were around to talk about the actual
Essentially,
injury.
he got what's like. They said the closest thing it could be related to is turf toe in football, which it sounds like it's not that serious, but like turf toe is actually like can literally sideline you for like 3 months in football. Right. But yeah, no. So he got a first cortisone shot in the toe because like in like a ligament didn't work. Got a second cortisone shot in a different ligament. Apparently he's responding a lot better than that. To that, still apparently a bit far away, but Boone was saying he made great strides. If he makes it back by the All-Star game, that's great. I'm not really expecting him to like be back in 2 days. I'd say he's probably at least like 2 weeks away.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Something with the toe, you just gotta be careful with because, like, as small as it may seem,
Putting
it's
280 pounds on a toe.
yeah, exactly. So it sucks, but
Don't skip
gotta
toe
wait
day.
it out. Yeah, basically.
Is he just doing like toe curls?
Yes, I would imagine.
Toe extensions.
Hell yeah.
Other ones. Harrison Bader was activated off the injured list. Oswaldo Cabrera got sent down. 2 or 3 days later, Willie Calhoun got put on the injured list. So then Oswaldo Cabrera got called right back up. Every single time someone gets activated, Oswaldo gets sent down. The second he gets sent down, someone else gets hurt. So he just comes right back up.
I feel so bad.
It's honestly at the point where, like, the main reason I feel bad is because I think he needs, like, a month in the minors. Just, like, clear his head, get reset mentally. So It's like, for someone good, he should be in the minors. And just...
Yeah. Unfortunate circumstances, I guess.
I know he's hit horrible in the majors when he has played. Esteban Florial has 19 homers in the minors this year.
I saw that. That's insane.
He hasn't played well in the majors, but at this point, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, true.
So it's like, I just, him not being, them choosing Oswaldo over him doesn't really make sense. Especially because, like, Oswaldo, yeah, his versatility is important, but he has so many guys that can play those positions.
Definitely.
Anyways, that he would be playing. So it's like, that's a whole nother thing. But into the games themselves. So going all the way back to the Subway Series, Game 1, 7-6 Yankees. Game 2, 4-3 Mets. The Yankees, Jimmy Cordero just destroyed a Garrett Cole start because, of course, he's an asshole. Cole went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. That's a phenomenal start by your ace. That is what you want for your ace. And he's like, nah. Annoying. Whatever. So the Red Sox series didn't happen. This was at Fenway. Game 1, 15-5 Red Sox. Game 2, 6-2 Red Sox. Game 3, 4-1 Red Sox. Just uncompetitive, lifeless at-bats. Any runs they did score were garbage time runs. They just didn't care. They just did not care about the series. And you could tell it. They were lifeless. It was embarrassing. At Fenway, you can't be doing that shit. Masataka Yoshida owned us. Shocker, it's almost like I was pounding the table for the Yankees to sign him in the offseason. You want to know who else I was pounding the table for the Yankees to get in the offseason? Luis Ariz. What is Luis Ariz doing? He's only hitting .400.
Only. But batting average doesn't matter, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, he only has like a 150 WRC plus, too.
Yeah. Disgusting.
It's
absolutely disgusting.
It's almost like my narratives are true because I know fucking ball. If only this front office knew ball. Anyways, I'll get into that later. All right. So because I forgot to do this. All right, there we go. So on to the Mariner series. Game 1, 3-1 Yankees. Game 2, 4-2 Yankees. Game 3, 10-2 Mariners. I want to say Game 2 was the Cole start. And I want to say it was.
I think so.
Regardless. Cole went 7 in the third innings pitched. 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. There was a point, I want to say in the 6th inning, sixth to like seventh inning, he struck out 5 straight guys.
Mm.
So on like that late into the game, you could tell he just started turning it up even more. Obviously,
Yeah.
great to see. He did the.
Yeah. No.
I feel like that he did the perfect way to send a message.
Yeah.
Like that is the perfect way. So for those that don't know, typically when sending a message, it's like either hit a guy or throw behind him. Garrett Cole just like flicked the ball that went to like the 4th row or like the 4th section.
Right.
So it's like that's the perfect way to send a message without actually putting a guy in danger.
Yeah. Definitely.
And apparently the no was to the manager of the
Yeah, I
Mariners, because
saw
apparently
that.
he was like shit talking Cole. So
Right.
I don't know exactly, but
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was said, but I saw like a really bad, like grainy video of Scott Service, the manager for the Mariners, like wagging his finger, and then that's when Cole did the.
damn, the Mariners are really owned by Scott Cervix.
Apparently. Oh my god.
It was there. It was
Horrible.
there.
Horrible.
Yeah, no. But on to my next point. So about the 10-2 loss, I was telling you in the in between when we were getting ready to record this, something like really pissed me off. Like not even
Mm-hmm.
like infuriated me. Did you see the Aaron Boone quote after the game?
There's a lot.
All right, good. So this was about. Did you see the like Mickey Mouse play with like Rizzo and Donaldson?
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
So Boone said about that. I get it's a talking thing, but we're talking about, and this was when it was. Let me get it. This was when it was the 3rd inning. The
Okay.
3rd inning, the Yankees were down 6-0. I get it's a talking thing, but we're talking about 2 great defenders on the corners that made a mistake in a game while we're giving up.
Huh?
You're giving up a game in the 3rd fucking inning? The 3rd inning! You're giving up a game in a 6-0 game? Like, yeah, 6 runs is a lot. It's the 3rd goddamn inning. You haven't even hit yet. You only made 6 outs. You still have 21 outs. And you're telling me that you're giving up the goddamn game? What does that say about the clubhouse?
That's horrible.
What does that say about the team?
That's horrible. How?
Like, that just pissed
How can he go up and say that?
I saw that. No, I saw like the quote about it. I'm like, there's no way that's what he actually said. I listened, and that's what he said. He said, he didn't say that we're giving up. He said, where we're giving up. So same shit, just, yeah.
Yeah.
But
no.
How do you? That pissed me off so much when I read that, because I consider myself. I'm not a Boone guy. I'm not a Boone hater. I think that he is serviceable because he does nothing. His whole job is clubhouse and motivating the guys. But if you're fucking saying that, then you're not doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
That single thing has pissed me off more than any other decision combined that he's made while he was on the Yankee manager. Just that.
It goes to show that something's not right in that club. It's really a loser's mentality.
That's a horrible mentality. You won 2 out of 3 games. I know the Mariners haven't been good this year, but regardless, they They are a good constructed team. I don't know. You just got swept by one of the biggest fucking rivalry in sports, and you're telling me that your mentality is, oh, we can sweep and get some momentum and go into a tough series against the Rangers. Now we're just gonna punt.
Yeah.
Like.
Horrible. Horrible job.
That being said, I don't hate leaving Herman in because of the Ranger series, but like he was just getting absolutely fucking shelled. But you can't tell the guys pretty much we're giving up. Mm-hmm. You can't go up to the plate as a hitter being like, "Oh, why does this at bat matter?"
Right.
Like that's just.
Yeah, because again, you're losing your players. You're gonna lose the clubhouse, and that's just gonna create more issues than what's already happening. And it's just a bad look. It's a really bad look overall. I think it just goes to show how important Judge is, not only from a player's perspective in what he brings to the plate, but just from like a leadership perspective, kind of keeping everyone in check and kind of maybe rallying the team at times. Because look, say Judge is in this game, he hits a home run in the fourth inning, and things turn around. In the third inning on, there's still a lot of baseball left.
Exactly. And like the thing is too, like yeah, like Judge is in the clubhouse every single day. He's with the team every single day, but you can only lead that way to an extent. Like Judge is
Yeah.
incredible because he leads by example. He is the
Mm-hmm.
captain because he leads by example. He's the table setter. He gets everyone going. No matter how good of a leader you are, you can't be that effective of a leader if you aren't doing that. If you aren't
Right.
like actually helping the team in leading by example. So, and
Definitely.
that's not a knock on Judge at all. Judge is doing the
Definitely.
absolute best that he can. It's just one of those things that you just can't do.
Yeah.
And that's why like fiery managers are my favorite. That like will die for their players.
Yeah.
But speaking of Herman, 3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 10 runs, 4 home runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's the third Yankee to give up 10 or more runs and 4 or more home runs.
Jeez.
And I want to say the other 2 Yankees pitched in the 50s, where there wasn't a thing called the bullpen.
That's tough.
This is the definition of a punt. Again,
Yeah.
I don't hate leaving Herman in, because the bullpen, it was kind of taxed, and you really do need it for the Ranger series. But
Right.
it's also a thing of, there's a difference between leaving a guy out there and telling the team that you're quitting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
Sometimes pitchers just need to wear it, and just
exactly.
you need innings, and it is what it is. It's not necessarily that you're giving up. It's just that that's what's going to help the team at this moment. But then, like you said, then in this case, it's kind of just like, well, all right. Sorry, giving up 8 runs. Let's leave him there. It's okay.
And then another thing I want to say, so it'd be like, oh, just one bad start. No. And his start before, 2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 1 strikeout against the Red Sox. Domingo Herman has had 2 games where he literally in a row where he just punts, just gives it
Yeah.
to the other team. And that's not even including how shitty of a person he is. All the or all the rosin stuff where he's literally cost the team roster spots and you can't do anything about it. He's gotten in trouble, twice for rosin already. And it's just... When Rodon and Cortez come back, what do you do with him? Or when one of them comes back, what do you do with him?
I mean, unfortunately...
Because he's out of options.
Right, so I don't see Clark Schmidt.
He's 31, by the way, too.
Dang.
Well, no, he'll be 31 in August, but regardless.
Okay.
Or June.
I mean, you could DFA him, but again, the easiest option, which so happens to be an option, is Clark Schmidt.
Clark's pitched really well as of late. Let me get the stats. That's the thing.
Right, but if he's like a 5-inning pitcher, then...
In Clark's last 3 starts, he's given up 6 runs. So 2 runs a start. So he's been
how many
consistent.
innings?
6, 5.1, 4.2.
Let's see.
But the thing is, he's been getting better and better. You could tell he's like figuring stuff out. So I think the length will come.
Okay.
So it's just a thing of like,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because the rotation is not where you want it to be, nor where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they have enough time where it gets close enough, somewhat close. Because the deadline's like what, late July, early August.
Yeah, it's like
it may
basically
get
a month
enough
away.
To be one of those early moves where they just flip him for like a team's 20th ranked prospect.
If anything, I don't know.
But you know what I mean, like something instead of nothing.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, but I'll stay with the pitching since we're here. So Clay Holmes just makes absolutely no sense because he'll be the worst pitcher in baseball, and then he'll have his last 20 games, 20 and 2/3 innings pitched, 1 run, 26 strikeouts, 8 walks, 11 hits. And that's good for a .46 ERA. So it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I will say this: there have been some of appearances he scares the shit out of me still.
Mhm.
Because what is that? That's 19 base runners and 20.2 innings pitched. I'm pretty sure he's hit guys too. So like the
Right.
over one whip is kind of concerning for a closer.
Yeah.
So like that is so I don't know if it's just like fluky, or like if he's back, or what the
Right.
fuck is going on.
Yeah. I mean, he's been on a really good run so far, so I think we just don't question it
I
and let it. No, but
I will say this: a lot of those, I want to say at least half those appearances, if not like 2/3, were in like seventh, eighth inning.
mm,
He has gotten a couple saves, but I just don't think he is a closer. Like
yeah,
it's like a 50. It's like almost a Aroldis Chapman near the end of his tenure with the Yankees, where like it was a coin flip if he was on or not, and you
yeah,
just can't have that coin flip. I'd much rather you have like 3 or 4 guys that I'd much rather trust over him. I would trust King, Canely, and Wandy's been iffy, but
yeah.
depending on the matchup, I may even him. Cause let me get.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Canely has like some really good numbers this year. I don't think he's given up. Yeah, he hasn't given up a run
Yeah.
in, I think 8 innings. Let me get it. Let me get it. In 7 2/3 innings, he hasn't given up a run, and he's only had 3 base runners. And his
He's been a
changeup,
huge boost
exactly.
to an already very good bullpen.
And he was like, how many saves does he have in his career? He only has 6, really. That's kind of shocking. No, but he was like a big. People forget he was a big part of like the 4 horsemen the Yankees had in
Yeah.
like 2019 with Ottavino, Britton, Chapman, and him. He was a dude. The only reason he wasn't getting saves is because you had 3 other closers on that team. And you
Yeah.
also had Chad Green, who was pitching really well. So it's
Right.
like a thing of I'd much rather trust a combination of him, King. Oh, I forgot Marinaccio. Him and King, and maybe even some Marinaccio over Holmes, who shows when it's not that high a leverage, he's a beast.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah, that might just be his calling, and that just
there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
right.
Not everyone's a closer.
Yeah, it is what it is. But you just have to use your players' strengths instead of trying to fit them into a mold that they're not.
Precisely. That's like I can't remember if I made this analogy, but it's like football, where like you can't force a guy to be in a scheme that it just doesn't fit his abilities. Like that's
Right.
the best coaches make the scheme around their players.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah. So that I think that's all I got about pitching. Um, well, no, that's not all I got about pitching. So IKF, he had a scoreless ninth inning, then hit a home run, better than Otani. But that's not the part that
Yes.
I'm talking. Like, not like I'm giving him all the credit in the world, but that's not the part I'm talking about because something pissed me off so much after. So he said like I want your opinion on this quote. So when he was like going out there to in the ninth inning to pitch, he said like, "Oh, I just want to have like some fun with it." What's your opinion on that quote? Thank you,
I know it's not what people want to hear, but
thank you.
okay.
People were like clowning him for, and like that just pissed me off. It's like, how are you gonna clown him? And like one of the
Right.
reporters immediately asked, wouldn't it be more fun if your team was in a position where you didn't have to pitch?
Right.
No shit, that's not what he was
Yeah.
saying.
It's making light of a tough situation. I mean, look, I get it. Got people want to see your team win, and I understand that, and
Yeah.
we're the same way. But at the same time, it's let him have fun.
If he's in
You
that
know?
situation, I'd much rather him have fun out there and maybe even build like positive momentum, maybe even hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to be better than Shohei Otani. But
Yeah.
like, it's just you can't.
And a lot of other position players, whenever they're pitching, they have a lot of fun. I
They're
mean, look at
literally,
like
dude. They're messing around on the mound.
like 2 years ago now, the Rizzo versus Freeman at bat.
And
That
all
was
Rizzo does is
hilarious.
like flex on Freeman about how he struck him out.
Exactly, that's hilarious. And I forgot who was pitching, but I forgot who was pitching, but a position player pitching, and they hit Travis d'Arnaud with like a little lob, and he kind of just like fell. Like that's hilarious. That's fun. It's. I understand when it's your team getting blown out and it's your guy position player pitching, it sucks, but it's making light of a tough situation. So I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a... If anything, I like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did it seem like I was gonna like shit on IKF for saying that at first?
Yes. That's where I thought you were going.
I have absolutely no problem with it. I think that is... I like that rather than... Because that at least shows that he's trying to have a good mentality, at least.
Right.
If he said, like, oh, I'm just doing... And, like, he was negative about it, then that would concern me more than him saying he was just trying to have fun out there.
I agree.
So...
I agree.
You know, but I deked you out.
You did.
Alright, I think that's all I got about the pitching now.
You sure?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I'm surprised it took this long, but I'm just saying this now. I absolutely love chicken parm. This story made me like chicken parm even more. So, Austin Wells, he needs to be called up to the major leagues right now. Not necessarily because he's ready. He probably isn't ready. But just because he is a better hitting coach than Dylan Lawson. Dylan Lawson is an absolutely horrible hitting coach. There was a quote he said, like, oh, I don't, like, care about the numbers. Guys are, like, putting up good at-bats, but they're literally not putting up good at-bats, and at the end of the day, all that matters is the numbers.
Right.
And for the people that don't know what I'm talking about, so Volpe's swing, it was one of those things where literally everyone noticed it. Like, I forget what it was. He was, like, too far back. He opened up too much, which just, like, made him a lot more wild, I guess you could say.
He had less control of his bat, which made him look kind of just overmatched.
Exactly. And so Austin Wells and, like, two other people, I think it was, like, one or two other, like, their minor league teammates, they were just, like, eating chicken parm at Volpe's house on their off day before the Subway Series. And they were just, like, watching film of Volpe's old at-bats. They're like, oh, you're doing this differently. Fix it. He was like, okay. And he fixed it. Immediately had 3 doubles in the Subway Series.
One should have been an error, but...
Regardless.
Whatever. Yes.
I know it's a small sample size. It's like a 7-game sample size, because the numbers don't include last night. He's hitting 273, a 360 on base, 540 slugging, 905 OPS, 150 WRC plus, 357 batted balls put in play, or batting average balls put in play, which is like really goddamn good. And that doesn't include last night where he went 1 for 2 with a walk.
Right.
So I know, short sample size, but that still is good signs.
Yeah. Like, yeah, hopefully.
If, like, because my thing is that, like, yeah, short sample size or whatever, but it's not like nothing changed, and it's just like luck. There was a massive change to his swing, and I still think there are tweaks that need to be made, but every single player, Aaron Judge needs to tweak his swing a bit. Mookie Betts needs to tweak his swing a little. Every single player in the major leagues can tweak their swing a little bit. Everyone has development. So a 22-year-old kid, no shit he could do more to fix his swing.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, he's been very streaky, I feel, in his early Yankees tenure. So even if this is not so much a big breakout, but at least more consistency. Exactly. I feel you'll be happy with.
And I feel like with the streakiness, it relates to his swing and his mechanics. Because when you look at, like, when he was hitting well, he had either the mechanics he has now or similar mechanics. But, like, when he wasn't hitting well, that's when he started, like, opening up his swing and started getting, like, a lot less control. So I think, like, yeah, he's streaky, but I think it almost has a direct correlation with the mechanics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. No, I can see that. Honestly, it's going to be like a time will tell type of thing. Mm-hmm. So hopefully he keeps it up.
And his stolen base numbers, they have gone down just because he hasn't really had that many opportunities. He's still 15 for 15 on the season, and I still think he should have more. Because I feel like whenever he does get the opportunity to steal, if he'll be, like, stealing, and then someone will hit a home run. Right. Or some shit like that. Or, like, someone will, like, get a foul ball. Or, like, he had an easy stolen base. So he probably should have, like, 20 stolen bases, if not more. But, yeah. Just, he's been a little streaky in the field, like, some rookie mistakes. But his shortstop, hardest position outside of, I think... Me, personally, hardest position outside of catcher. I think we differ on that.
Yeah, I think I said center field, but it's up for debate.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
so it's, in my opinion, the second hardest position to play. And as a rookie, I really don't care. I just don't. He's playing
Yeah.
solid defense for the most part.
Yeah.
He's had the rookie mistakes. Who cares? He's fast as shit, and I still think his sprint speed doesn't do him justice because his instincts make up for it so much more.
Right.
I don't care.
Just let the kid play. He'll figure it out. He's gone through rough patches and he will continue to do so. But like Aaron Boone said, his development is now going to be in the major leagues,
Exactly.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And one other thing is that Billy McKinney cannot be your best hitter. Billy fucking
Mets
McKinney.
legend.
I'm pretty sure he started on the Yankees too.
I think so.
I know he was on the Yankees for a while, and I forget who he. I want to say he was traded in the J.A. Happ trade.
He
Was
might
he
have.
drafted with the Yankees?
No, I don't think he was drafted.
Or he was that he made his debut with the Yankees.
Right. I don't think he was drafted by them.
He
They definitely got him in a trade. I forget which one.
Where's
He's
Miners?
been around so
He
many
started
times.
his major league career with the Yankees, and then
Right.
I forget what it was. I want to say it was like concussions or something. He got hurt. Then he got traded in the J.A. Happ trade. And where was I? But in 44 at bats this year, 318 average, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 984 OPS, while playing very good defense in center. So, incredible numbers. I think there's going to be some regression. Because if he was this good, he would have been on a team.
Right.
It's that simple.
Billy McKinney is this type of guy where your guy gets injured, you pick him up, and he's hot for like 2 weeks, and then he gets DFA'd. Like, that's been his career.
Mm-hmm. I think that there was something they were saying, like he changed stuff up, so maybe that could be like some correlation. Who knows? Regardless, getting into my point, he can't be your best hitter.
No.
So since Judge went down, let me zoom in because I'm using a yes graphic because I was too lazy to copy all the stats.
Thank you, yes.
Okay. So since Judge was placed on the IL June 4th, and I think he was out for a couple days before that too.
Yeah.
But regardless, Stan has a .089 batting average with a 358 OPS. Rizzo is hitting 143 with a 467 OPS. DJ's hitting 147 with a 436 OPS. Donaldson's hitting 103 with a 533 OPS. And I think he has like 1 or 2 hits in Yankee wins. So all of his hits that he is getting are garbage time hits.
Garbage time.
That's just not
where do I even begin?
Exactly.
It's you know who the Yankees could use? That Aaron Hicks guy in the Orioles. He's hitting really well right now.
I just don't care. Like okay, I absolutely hate that argument because he wasn't going to do that with the Yankees. He just wasn't going to do it with the Yankees.
God no. It's just funny.
Yeah, he's going to cool down. He was never that guy in his career.
So another guy they could use. He's been a really good power bat.
Nope, he hasn't.
Gary Sanchez guy in San
Diego.
Diego.
Down a shit ton, and no one's talking about that.
He hit a home run last night.
Oh no, Gary Sanchez ran into a home run. Shocker! Mm-hmm. It's almost like that was his Yankee career. He'd hit 6 home runs in 5 games and then be absolutely dog shit. Oh, but people aren't talking about how he literally single-handedly lost him that game in Miami while he was still hitting. That's another thing.
Doesn't fit my narrative.
Let me see if I can find where the fuck is.
This offense has been rough. Rough watch. I mean, you just tell by the Red Sox series. They scored what, like 5 runs the entire series?
About that, maybe a couple more. How do you tell? Because like I'm trying to find his splits. Like, was it here? Like for Donaldson and wins and losses.
Go to splits.
You find the Fangraphs, right?
Baseball Reference is probably easier.
Yeah, you're right. But go on.
But no, it's been a tough watch. I mean, I don't even when Alonso was out, which we'll get into, the Mets offense was fine, and I thought, Judge to the Yankees what Alonso is to the Mets, but
no.
Yeah, Judge is so much obviously he's valuable, but like Judge is this team's entire offense. I mean, I don't think it's that unfair to say, but no one else is hitting except for the guys that you're plugging in, like the Billy McKinneys. Like like you said, Stan's not hitting. Donaldson has not been hitting this entire time. Rizzo has had one of the worst months of his career, and
By far.
it's look. This Mariners series was a nice breath of fresh air, I feel, but you can't rely on pitching in and out. I feel like, look, yesterday Herman blew up, but then they won
Which he has been
4-2,
doing.
they won 3-1. It's close.
It's all
So
because
this
they've had
offense needs to pick it
phenomenal
up.
pitching. That's the only reason
Right.
why they've been winning.
And unfortunately, you just can't rely on that. I mean, you can rely on Cole, without a doubt.
But I think it was Joni Burrito won like 5 or 6 innings, scoreless innings. You're not going to be able to rely on that every single day.
Exactly. So this team, who I feel is built to outslug you at times, needs to do that, and they're not.
I would disagree, but because I think the team is built on the pitching. It's just the pitching's hurt.
I guess, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you should have 4 stud pitchers in your rotation right now.
When healthy, it's a very balanced team. At least, I think so. The pitching is solid. The bullpen's good. The lineup's solid. Look, you got Judge. Say again, healthy. Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, Glaber. Those guys.
You said Judge and then you cut out.
Yeah, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, Glaber. Those guys should be hitting you home runs. Everyone else is table setters. This team should be scoring a lot of runs.
I still think you just can't say that, though, that it's balanced when you take one guy out of the lineup and they're broken.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean? That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Like, I know, I get where you're coming from, but I just can't call it balanced when you take one guy out and it's, the worst or second worst offense in the league. Like, their on-base percentage, I think, is barely above the Royals, which aren't getting enough credit for how horrible they are.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I think their team on base, I forgot if that's with Judge included, is
without. It's since Judge.
It's without.
It's since
Judge
went down.
It was like $2.99, I think.
No.
Really, really bad,
That's
and it
pathetic. It's pathetic.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just horrible.
Judge can't come back soon enough.
He cannot. I don't need my toe. I don't need it.
Yeah. Go. Take it.
Imagine you put my toe on where his toe should be.
It's just like a little
That's what I'm saying.
stub.
It's just like a little stub, and then he just has these massive fucking meaty things.
God. All right, let's not talk about Judge's toes.
Why not? We kind of have to.
I'm good. I'm good. Just talking about the injured one and moving on.
Okay. Regardless, yeah, no, DJ. I don't know what's going on with him. Donaldson just has to be DFA'd. I can't find the stats, but Peraza's been absolutely fucking killing it in AAA. It's just a thing of, oh yeah, I forgot about the Cashman quote about oh, Donaldson's a good hitter. We want to give him more runway. What more do you have to see? He was absolutely horrible last year. He's 37, 38 years old. He's hitting almost under 100. It's what more do you have to see?
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough watch, Donaldson.
And his whole thing was that he was great defensively. I even said that going into the year that he what's it called? His value was how good he was defensively, and if you got average production, it would be worth it just because of how insane he was defensively. But let me get. Please tell me Baseball Reference or Baseball Savant has the numbers. It doesn't have the numbers because he hasn't played enough. But he's just not been good in the field. It's just that simple. Let me.
Right.
Where is. Dude, I don't give a shit. Just give me He has one out above average. But he's made so many errors in the field that it's just like, how can you justify keeping him on this team? If you could DFA Aaron Hicks, you're going to be paying for the next 2.5 years. You could DFA Donaldson.
Yeah, definitely. And there's someone you can easily replace him with.
Shocker.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That's
tough.
One thing that I think is not being talked about enough, and this is just completely random, how much of a logjam the Yankees have with catchers. They have 4 catchers on their AAA roster. Or like 4 people that will play catcher / first base / DH.
Right. 4 guys who can catch.
Yeah. In Dariv.art, and I forget the other ones. Like, that's kind of an issue. Because Austin Wells is just like rotting in AA.
Right. Yeah. That's tough.
What does Dariv do that Higgy doesn't do?
Right.
Like, I know Higgy's a backup catcher, and you can't really expect much from backup catchers, but Dariv.art's known for being like a stud defensive catcher, and anything you get offensively is a plus. Like, let me see if I can. Really? Higgy's in the 61st percentile framing, but he's known for being like an elite framer.
Right.
And like, I'm pretty sure he was a lot worse earlier, so maybe he's gotten a little better. But like, his pop time to second base is 39th percentile, so he's not gonna throw runners out. It's just he's 33. Bro, motherfucker's been on the team forever.
Yeah. Yankees are a tough watch.
For sure.
Right now. Fortunately.
And then, look ahead. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something?
No. I was just going to say, Judge is on the right track, but still it's going to be a waiting game.
Okay.
That is all.
Brutal. So, on to the look ahead, where I just don't want to watch any single one of these games. So, tonight, Friday, the Yankees start a 3-game series with the Texas Rangers, who are, like, the best team in baseball, because of course.
Go figure.
Which I said they could be. I said they're, like, I'm so fucking mad because I had their manager as the manager of the year.
Manager of the year.
I changed it last second because I forgot his name. Why did I do that? I was so smart! Regardless. But it's Clark Schmidt versus TBD in Game 1. It is Luis Severino versus TBD. And Garrett Cole versus... I want you to guess.
TBA?
TBD. So it's just... Clark's been pitching
Rubber
better.
arm.
Sevy has one bad start that kind of just like inflated his ERA because he hasn't pitched much. So, I don't know.
I wouldn't say he has had one bad start.
There's 2, but let me... Well, no, like one bad start.
Blow up.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been good either.
Oh, he's been worse than I thought. Regardless.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been hard.
And then Garrett Cole.
What?
And then Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Who's good.
You also got to realize it's the best offense in baseball, so it's like...
Yeah, you can't count on the pitching of this one, I don't think.
Them or the Rays?
I'd say now that Seager's back, I'd say Rangers.
I agree, okay. So, yeah.
Tough.
Oh, I just got a nice crack in my chest.
Good stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah, that it could be a fun series, but it can also be a blowout.
I'm shaking my head very solemnly for those people listening. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to sleep.
The Yankees fell asleep. The offense fell asleep. They need to wake up. Get an alarm clock. Ring, ring, it's time.
Ring, ring, it's time, Queens. We're going to have even more
Queens.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. See you guys then.
Now entering Queens.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Queens, where the Mets lost another series and haven't won a series in about a month, almost, since they swept the Phillies in the beginning of June. I don't even know what to say about this team anymore. I feel like I've been saying the same thing over and over, that it's the pitching, and it's not the offense. And boy oh boy is it the pitching. But before we get into that, as always, the injury report brought to you by Triboro MD. So, in good news, Jose Quintana continuing to rehab, thank God, because we really need him. Tyler McGill was not good, has not been good. So Jose Quintana, as long as he's an average pitcher, maybe even a little below average, that would be fantastic. And Josh Walker, who was left-handed relief pitcher brought up by the Mets, left Game 3. Yeah, University of New Haven product. He left Game 3 after taking a comebacker off his leg.
Of the Astros series.
Of the Astros series. Nothing has been said since then, but hoping everything's alright. And not necessarily injury, but just roster news in general. Last night, Tyler McGill was optioned to Syracuse, but no corresponding move has been made just yet. That's why I'm checking their transaction logs. No. Tyler McGill has been optioned, no corresponding move. I believe they're going to bring up a reliever and kind of just deal with an extra, because Drew Smith is still suspended, which I'll touch on a little bit.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think they're going to hold an extra reliever and then just...
That was during the Subway Series, right?
Figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then figure out the fifth starter when they need it. But just like Justin did in the Bronx, going to cover really quick past couple series, starting with the Subway Series. Like Justin mentioned, first game was a Mets loss, 7-6, and then the second game was a Mets walk-off, 4-3. So that was nice.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. Max Scherzer shit the bed in game 1. He got like a nice 4-run lead and then couldn't hold it to save his life. In that same game is when Drew Smith got ejected for sticky stuff after not being able to throw a pitch.
My question is, why is it only the Yankees and Mets?
Yeah.
Like, is there some, like, disconnect? Because no one else this year has had an issue, right?
The
fact that you have to think that long kind of just proves it.
Yeah.
But why is it only them? I don't know. Sorry to cut in, but, like, that's just a thought I had.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough. We've already expressed our opinions on the rule when Scherzer got ejected, but this just makes it so much worse because Drew Smith barely got the pitch. Unfortunately, I wasn't watching the game, but I don't think he was able to throw a single pitch. He
was warming up.
Right. So, how or who is telling you to check him before the guy can throw a pitch? How does that work?
I feel like that messes with his warm-up, too. Because, like, he's trying to, like, get into the mentality, and, like, most guys have, like, a set warm-up. Like, CC, I think it was something, like, CC would always throw 22 pitches or something exactly. Like, when he was doing his warm-up. So, like, you're messing with the guy's routines, but... Because he was already warming up when it happened.
Right. So, like, what gives? I don't get it.
I feel like the only thing is, like, it was so egregious that, like, you could tell... But we haven't seen, like, shit on Twitter or anything, like, showing how egregious it was.
No, I mean, like, Smith was trying to plead his case, and then after the game, he talked to the media, obviously, and he said an MLB official in the clubhouse looked at his hands and laughed and told him that they're not sticky. So how can the umpires on the field and then the MLB official in the clubhouse have differing opinions? That's the issue. It should not be opinionated. It should not be subjective. But yet here we are, the second Mets pitcher who got suspended for sticky stuff when he most likely didn't do anything. Not going to rule it out, but I have a hard time believing that he did.
Fix the rule. That's...
Yes.
it should be a thing of it should be this is allowed or it's not allowed. End of story.
Right. Exactly. But that was kind of the highlight of the Subway Series. Justin Verlander was pretty good in Game 2. And then the Cardinal Series last weekend, the worst team in the National League, Cardinals, took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. And once you hear these scores, it's the pitching. So Game 1, they won 6-1. Game 2, they lost 5-3. Game 3, they lost 8-7. 8-7. Like, are you kidding me? I was gonna wait till after the Houston series to say this, but the Mets have lost the last 5 out of 6 games where they've scored 7 or more runs. 7 or more runs, and you've lost 5 out of the last 6 games. Horrible. Absolutely inexcusable. This bullpen cannot hold a lead for their life. These starters can't pitch more than 4 innings. I sound like Frank the Tank. Like, it's really, it's... June Swoon is here, and it sucks. But a quick recap of the Houston series. Max Scherzer in Game 1 actually pitched very well. Went 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Excellent. The offense absolutely exploded as the Mets won 11-1. Lindor homered, Vogelbach homered. It was fantastic. Game 2. Solid outing by Justin Verlander. 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts. He gave you length, but not what you're paying him to do. I mean, yes, you're paying him to do length, but 4 runs in 7 innings. Against a very good pitcher in Framber Valdez, who is an incredible lefty. So, of course, the Mets were getting perfect gamed until, like, the 6th inning. But the Mets... He's disgusting. He's absolutely disgusting. And the Mets had no answer for him. But the Mets scored 2 runs off of him later on in, like, the 8th inning. The Mets lost 4-2. Look, the Mets scored off a really tough starter. You need your $43 million man to kind of go toe-to-toe with him, pitch for pitch, and he didn't. So the Mets lost that game 4-2. And then Game 3, which was Tyler McGill's final straw, it looks like. Yeah. He went 2 1/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Bad.
Not good.
The Mets lost this game 10-8. 10-8. An absolutely horrible pitching performance from Tyler McGill. And then Buck thinks it's a fantastic idea to bring in Dominic Leone, who gives up another 4 runs in an inning and a third. But, again, the offense scored a lot. Alonso hit his first home run back from the injured list. Vogelbach had 3 RBI. Mets still lost 10-8.
Was he the guy that people were freaking out about? It's like, why was he in? And, like, he pitched, like, a lot, like, recently. Was that Leon?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. There's a lot of guys where many fans are questioning why is he in and why is he pitching so much. There's been a lot of that. But this series could have easily been a win for the Mets. Again, you're losing a game 10-8, and you're going up against Christian Javier, who is a really good pitcher, and you got him out in like the 3rd inning, not even. But I will say, look, there was some missed opportunities for the offense. Alonso had a really bad mental mistake running out of the baseline in the 1st inning, bases loaded. So that hurt. But again, sure, the offense had missed opportunities, but when you're losing 10-8, the offense is not the problem. And this team is just not built to outslug
8 runs against the Astros is great. Like, that's incredible.
Right.
In Houston,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And, like, yes, the Astros have not been the Astros. They've been a little struggling, I feel. You missed Yordan this entire series,
I was about to
which
mention
is
that too.
Fantastic. You hit the Astros when they lost, I think it was like 5 or 6 in a row going into this Met series. And you were one bad Scherzer start from getting swept. Just inexcusable pitching all around. And it's frustrating, obviously, but it's been the same story for the past
The Astros.
since the season
Can I cut you
began.
off?
Yeah.
The Astros lost to the Nationals, then got swept by the Reds, and all that was at home.
Right. The hottest team in baseball, the Reds.
Yeah, but still, regardless that they've been hot, it's still the Reds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know, but it's so bad. This pitching, it's top to bottom horrible. Scherzer's been inconsistent. Verlander has not been as advertised. Verlander has
been inconsistent.
Yeah,
then.
Verlander has not been as advertised, getting paid 43, and it's like, let me just. Verlander won the Cy Young last year. It's not like he's like, oh, former Cy Young winner last year, and he's pitching to an ERA over 4. This team was built on pitching, and it continues to be their weak spot, which is frustrating and alarming. Because, like I said, this team's not going to outslug you. This offense has been more than you can ask for, and Alonso just came back, and he's been all right. He was a little bit of rust, but he hit a home run, which is great. Maybe he's getting out of his little slump. But even when Alonso was out, this team was kind of holding down the fort. And the pitching just is not doing them any favors. I mean, the most consistent starter is Senga because of how inconsistent he is. Because he's going to have a good start. Then he's going to go on the road and have a bad start. Is going to go home and has a good start. So you kind of know what you're getting with his inconsistency being consistent. Carrasco has not been. He had like 2 good starts, and then he had a really bad start against the Cardinals. Again, Tyler McGill has been really bad. He just got optioned. So Jose Quintana, hopefully, is, again, like I said, average at best. Because that's all you need. You just need a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs.
Mm-hmm.
And this team can score. I mean, I got nothing anymore.
Yeah. It's no bueno.
Yeah. They're in 4th place, like 13 games out of 1st. I think after they got swept in Atlanta, I think you can kiss the division goodbye. I think it's all hands on deck for a wild card, if anything. I don't want to be like a really negative
Nancy,
but I'm just kind of trying to see it how it is. I mean, 13 games out.
There's not
much
almost
July. Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's like, oh, they're turning around. They're not. They're not turning it around. Scherzer's been inconsistent. He had a good start against Houston. And then his start this weekend against the Phillies, he can blow up. You have no idea what you're going to get with him.
I think what do you think is, if there's one thing that you could say is like the reason why they're like this, what would you say it is?
The team in general?
Why they're not doing that well. Like one thing. It doesn't
the
even
pitching.
But like I'm saying one individual thing.
Starters.
I disagree.
I don't.
In the sense, no, but I'm not talking like that. I'm talking individual person.
Oh! It has to be Max.
I think that my thing is I think it's the Diaz injury.
Oh.
Because like my thing is that like I think I said this like before the season that like the Diaz injury, like not even just losing him, but just the trickle down effect of how much more you're going to have to gas that bullpen. And yeah, you can say like the starters, they exploit that more because they aren't getting depth. But if Diaz was here, it wouldn't be not even close to as bad. It still would be bad, but it wouldn't be as bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, debatable because, look, no one can replace Diaz.
Cut out.
But Robertson has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't get to the guy because you're losing by like 5 runs in the 8th inning.
But you could also counter that saying that you'd be able to pull starters even earlier if you had to. And you would have more guys in the bullpen that you could trust. You would have other guys that wouldn't be overworked in the bullpen.
I disagree because you have one extra guy is not gonna. But you're still gonna have the Dominic Leones and the Steven Nagosics still having to pitch 3 innings because the starter can't go more than 4. But I get what you're saying, and I think what you said that the starter is exploiting the bullpen. I think that's the best way to put it because I still think the issue is the starters because these guys are not getting deep into games, which is making these bullpen guys pitch more than they should, which is then blowing up in their face because they're pitching more and they're not doing good. And again, you can't even get to the back end of the bullpen because you're already losing by shitload of runs in the 7th and 8th inning. I can't remember the last time Robertson pitched. I don't think he pitched in this Houston series. He pitched maybe once in the Cardinal series. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying, but
I was more pointing to like an individual thing that could be the reason. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't saying like an overarching thing of like guys. I was just saying like one individual thing that I think isn't being talked about enough is that. And like
it's not. I will agree. Yeah, I think definitely with Diaz, they're maybe not in as bad as a spot as they are, but it still comes down to the starting pitching and still comes down to your $43 million guys with Max and...
What's it, like 82 between 2 guys?
Right, it's like 86.
86, yeah.
I think they're getting both paid 43. And they're both... Max has... Yeah. Max has ERA over, like, it's like 3.5. Verlander has an ERA over 4. And there, again, there's no sign of them really turning it around, per se. So it's frustrating because there's not much else you can do. And they're in a really tough spot when it comes to the trade deadline, which is coming up sooner than people think.
I was going to
ask, a little more than a month.
Do you have any more things you want to talk about?
Yeah, but we could talk about the trade deadline.
So... And I've been wanting to ask this for like 3 weeks, but we just haven't been able to record, so I haven't been able to ask this. What would you give up for Ohtani?
Nothing. I don't think they should be going after Ohtani.
I agree.
Forget. Even if they were like second place, first place, I don't want them trading for Ohtani. Just wait until he's a free agent and make a move there. Exactly, I don't need you giving up half the farm for Ohtani.
Exactly my process, too. Because, like, even if you were in second, first place, I don't think it would be worth it to go all in for Ohtani when you'd have to give up, like, Beatty, Alvarez, and, like, more. Like, that, to me, that's just not worth it. When, also then, you trade for him, there's no guarantee you re-sign him.
Exactly.
Like, I could almost... I'd be pretty confident if they did trade for him, they'd re-sign him. You know what?
So would I.
I'd be pretty confident, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you give up the future, which is kind of like what you were banking on going into this year for the offense in the future, who have played pretty goddamn good. Beatty's cooled down, right?
But yeah, Beatty's cooled down for like a little over
Alvarez
a month.
has been very good. So like, I just don't think it's worth it trading the future for a guy that you could get in the offseason, especially considering he's a needle mover. I think that no individual player can help them enough to get to the point where they had to go.
Yeah, I agree. It's not worth it, and I'd rather give up money than prospect instead of money and prospects. Yeah. So, and just in general, I don't. Again, they're in a really tough spot with the trade deadline because they don't have much to sell, and as of right now, I don't want them buying anything. I don't think they're in a position to make a run
and I
right
feel like
now.
Steve Cohen isn't going to sell anyways. You know, I feel like he has too much pride.
Right. Like, the only, hypothetically, you can maybe get something for Robertson. He's on a 1-year deal. maybe something for Tommy Pham, who's the best player in baseball right now, unfortunately.
Billy McKinney. I almost said Hamilton.
Yeah. Besides that, Vogelback? Maybe he's on a 1-year deal.
Canna?
His contract's expiring. Escobar, his contract's expiring. But who's gonna want them?
Yeah.
Robertson is your best bet. So
what are you gonna get for? He's like what, 38?
Yeah.
Like
a 1-year
granted, Robertson
contract,
has been incredible, but you also got to realize age.
Yeah. So you're not gonna get anything substantial to
What's Ottavino's
retool.
deal?
2 years.
Okay, yeah,
I forgot number, but 2 years.
But you wouldn't want to trade 2 years.
No. So they're in a really unfortunate spot right now where they can't sell, and God, they can't buy because they're just gonna give up prospects that
you
shouldn't. Yeah. So again, they have a little more
reason to buy would be an investment. Like maybe like a younger guy that isn't fully broken out, but you're like, I can fix him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like it'll be like a long-term thing and not like a short-term thing. That's the only thing I can really like think about to buy.
I agree. If they're buying, it has to be for something more than a rental.
Exactly. And who even would that be?
Dylan Cease, who's been really bad. He has a couple of years left.
Because like with baseball, it's tough, especially this year, because so many of the bad teams are good.
Yeah, exactly.
So many of the teams that are like historically good and they're too prideful to sell aren't gonna sell.
Right.
So like this is gonna be a very, very interesting trade deadline. Not even as a Yankee or Mets fan, but just as like an entire like baseball perspective.
Right. Because if the Angels hold on and don't implode within a month, Ohtani's not going anywhere. So you take him out. I don't know if the Cardinals are going to sell, even though they're in last place and look
That's another
really
bad. They're like one of those teams that they're too prideful.
Right.
You know what I mean? To like the fan base and all. And who would they even sell?
They have
Flaherty?
Exactly. And then you have guys like the Reds. Yeah, you got guys like the Reds or the Pirates. The Pirates have cooled off, but who are doing better than usual, who have been historical sellers. The Reds were in first place.
I told you about the Reds.
No, I know.
I told you the Reds could be a little fun this year.
So it's going to be really tough, but the Mets just put themselves in a really unfortunate position.
Yeah.
And going back to the games in Houston, I think the first game in Houston is an image of what this team can be. Dominant pitching, followed by a dominant offense. An 11-1 score, Max Scherzer going 8 innings. That's what you hoped to get with Max. And Verlander. But unfortunately, that team has just not been this. And look, I will say, as well as the offense has been playing, there's still guys struggling. Jeff McNeil is having a really, really tough year. For a contact-based guy, doesn't have a lot of power. He's hitting like 270 with like a hovering 700 OPS. And I did some digging, see, maybe he changed his swing, maybe he changed something. His swing looks almost the same. Something I found, it's a little interesting. It's more correlation, not necessarily causation. Is last year McNeil took a little bit more time in between pitches. It was about like 20 seconds with no one on base, 25 seconds with guys on base. Both the pitch clock, it's 15 seconds and 20 seconds. So maybe he feels a little rushed.
I think that could be. Not that I'm going to say it's that, but I think that could be part of the reason why. Because look at guys like Alek Manoah, who just looks like such a different dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, again, not really sure what his deal is. obviously am rooting for him. I'm hoping he figures it out. But he's been struggling. I feel like not a lot of people have been talking about it.
Like, I have his numbers in front of me. In his career, 138 OPS plus, 143, 130, 87, 141, 94 this year.
Right.
So this isn't the guy that you expect him to be. He's hit
exactly.
and like even in the year he had the 80 what's it called? Where is it? I just had it. I am blind. The 87 OP. Oh no, he hit 251. Never mind. That doesn't fit my narrative.
Yeah, that 2021 was really bad.
But like every other year, other than that, he's hit at least 311.
Exactly.
And he's hit over 320 twice.
Right. I think that lack of shift also impacts him a little bit because he was so good at
beating the shift.
He was so good as beating the shift, just taking the ball the other way. So that might be also something. But even when they didn't shift him, he was still hitting the ball, over the shortstop, over the second baseman, up the middle, down the line. He's not doing any of that. I feel like he's striking out a little bit more. He's popping up a lot more. I know I checked his Baseball Savant page. His K percentage is actually really good, but it just seems like he's striking out so much more.
That's not like that, because like last year, so he's pretty much played half the games he played last year, and last year he had 61 strikeouts. This year 30.
So maybe it's just me.
And then in 2021 he played. Oh no, that was a shitty year. Never mind, we agreed on that. 2019 he played 133 games, 75 strikeouts. So he's on a much better pace than 2019 where he hit 318.
Huh. Alright, so maybe he's not striking out more. But I will say he is popping up a lot more, which is very frustrating. But again, he's struggling, so hoping he figures it out. But on to two guys who aren't struggling. Lindor, after his second daughter was born, so congratulations to Lindor, has been on an absolute tear lately. Let me. Yeah, no, seriously. Just in time for Father's Day too.
Yeah.
Let's see here. In his past 7 games, he is hitting .263 with a .407 on base and a .737 slugging. What is that?
That's crazy.
That's a 1.144
OPS by a good bit.
I know.
I'm only saying McNeil because I was just looking at his numbers.
Right.
Not picking out.
He's hit 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 5 walks to 5 strikeouts.
His slugging. His slugging is, because I just have the numbers in front of me too.
Yeah.
His slugging is more than twice Stanton's OPS since Judge got on the IL.
Oh my god. But great to see. I mean, obviously you love to see it. Hopefully he can keep it going. I know he's not going to slug 700 the entire year, obviously, but just like we talked with Volpe about small sample sizes, hopefully it's more mechanical adjustments and something that can be proven to be a long-term thing. But on to someone else who I'm very glad is kind of not breaking out, but kind of just doing what is expected of him. Daniel Vogelbach had himself a very good series. And we couldn't talk about it, but he had about like a week mental break, as Buck Showalter like to call it, where he was still on the roster and on the IL, but he just didn't play. Since returning from that mental break, the past 7 games, he's hitting .292 with .347 on base, .583 slugging, good for a .929 OPS. That is a hell of a lot better. That's exactly, not exactly, but that's what you want from your DH spot. That's what you thought you were going to get with Vogelbach this entire year. So I'm just happy to see him succeed. It looks like he finally realized he can lift the ball instead of killing worms. So that's just fantastic to see. And it's going to help. Thank you.
Did you come up with that?
I've been saying it. I don't know where I got it from.
You're not that creative.
That's what I'm saying. I know I'm not, but he has been killing worms. But it's gonna help because this weekend in the look ahead, the Mets are welcoming the Phillies. No, I lied. The Phillies are welcoming the Mets. They're going to Philadelphia, where they are facing 3 right-handers. So you should see Vogelback in all of the games, I would think. But, real quick, Game 1.
Can I say something really quick? Sorry to cut you off. Did
Yes.
you mention Vientos being sent down?
I didn't. Thank you.
I just thought about that, yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? That's all I have to say. I think this was a very, very bad look for the Mets front office. I think they handled it extremely poorly. He was red hot when they called him up, and they barely played him. And then people get mad when he's not succeeding, when he's getting like 2 at-bats a week. Absolutely horrible management by the front office, and Buck. I'm not letting him off the leash either.
I completely agree.
Look, Vientos might have not been good if he played, but you never gave him the chance. And it's absolutely a shame, because like I said, when he got called up, he was one of the hottest hitters in AAA, and then he cooled off significantly, and then he got sent down to the minors, and he hit a home run his first day. Look, he has his issues. He strikes out a lot, but he has a really long swing, which I think can kind of get exploited. So, again, not saying he would have been a savior, but again, you never gave him the chance to even show what he can do.
He also is exactly what the Mets need offensively.
Power.
And a guy that hits lefties.
Exactly. But barely gave him a chance. And I think that also has to do with Tommy Pham just really tearing it up. He's been good. He's been alright.
You can't use
He's
Tommy
been
Pham
serviceable.
as an excuse to not play.
Yeah. Again, it's just really horrible management by the Mets, and I feel really bad for Mark Vientos. But I think it just goes to show what the Mets front office thinks of Vientos, which is not much, unfortunately.
He's almost getting the Peraza treatment.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's pretty comparable.
I'd say so. There's a little difference since he's a DH, and
there is.
The
way they are treating them.
Yes, definitely. It's frustrating. It's unfortunate, but I really hope Vientos proves the Mets wrong, even if it's for another team. Maybe he gets traded. I'm not really sure, but I'm rooting for him. He seems like such a good kid. And those first weeks with Beatty, Alvarez, and Vientos, those first couple games were absolutely electric. So I'm not going to forget that. Hopefully we see him later this year. If not, we'll see. But before I look ahead, would you like anything? Would you like to add anything?
Sorry for cutting you off there, but I just...
No, you're good. You're good. That's something I should have talked about. But without further ado, looking ahead to the Phillies this weekend. Game 1 is Kodai Senga versus Taijuan Walker.
At Phillies.
So Kodai Senga's on the road. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't. Taijuan Walker, also who knows? He's also been really inconsistent. The Mets got to him last time when they played in Citi Field. So hopefully they get to him again. This offense has been rolling. You just need some good pitching. Game 2. Carlos Carrasco versus Christopher Sanchez. I had no idea who this was, so I looked it up.
Who?
He started 2 games against the A's and Colorado. Never pitched more than 4 innings.
In Colorado?
So that's something to keep an eye on. I don't think it was in Colorado.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But he never pitched more than 4 innings. I am assuming he was a recent call-up for some rotation help. And then Carlos Carrasco, last time out against the Cardinals, was very bad. So hopefully he can bounce back there. And then Game 3 on Sunday, Max Scherzer versus Zach Wheeler, which on paper should be a really good pitching matchup. But who knows? Who knows which Max you're going to get? Wheeler has...
Max or Sad Max?
Yeah, basically. Wheeler's been alright. He's had a weird year, I feel. His defense is letting him down a little bit, I will say. But Wheeler's still a really good pitcher. I know, who would have thought, Phillies defense. Max needs to go out there and shove yet again. And the Mets have handled Wheeler in the past. They've kind of got to him for the most part. So the Phillies are hot. The Phillies are hot. Yeah. And the Mets are not. So I really don't know what to think for this team. Just win the series. Win a series. But that's all I got. If you got anything else to add.
Win. This is the last team that you won a series against.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it again.
Do it again. I know. The Phillies are the Mets stopper. Hopefully. But for all that being said, thank you guys for listening and watching. It's good to be back. Hope you didn't miss us too much. But remember to follow us on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. But without further ado.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!